Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I haven't been putting out much content lately. I've been trying to kind of save money, and of course with the kind of content I produce, a lot of times parts and stuff like that is not cheap, so I haven't been doing too much lately. But I figured today this wouldn't really cost me nothing, and it'd be something that probably will help a lot of you guys out just wanting to know. Basically what we're going to do is get a base fire up tune just to where a vehicle will just fire up and stay idling on its own. Like say you just put a big cam or did a LS swap or something like that, and you're just trying to get it to fire up and idle. We're not going to get into like full on fuel tuning and stuff like that. We'll mess with a little bit at idle. But yeah, so this is just going to be base fire up tune, get it to fire up and idle on its own. So we're going to get right into this. I got basically a stock tune file right here open. So if we go under airflow VE table, you'll see this stock VE table. Go under idle RPM, you'll see it's going to want to try to idle at 575. This bigger cam is not going to want to do it, and the idle airflow is still at factory numbers. So we're going to go ahead and flash this in real quick. And just a quick disclaimer why this is flashing: I am not a professional tuner. There may be other ways or other stuff to accomplish the same thing, but this is what I use. It's worked really well for me in the past, and I've done all the tuning on this truck, and it's put down respectable numbers and very consistent at the track. So just quick disclaimer that I am not a professional tuner. I am not responsible if you drop the bottom end out of your truck faster than a $2 hooker. So alright, so looks like this is just finished flashing in. So we're going to quickly try to fire it up real quick. My guess is it might fire off and then just fall on its face because the base running airflow is going to close the throttle too much. On top of that, it's probably running really rich. So we'll give it a shot. So you can see there, just fire up and sit and spit and sputter and then just stall out. So what I like to do, and this is all depending on your cam size, but initially just to help get it started, we'll go back and we can knock this down later on in another video once we get into fueling and spark and stuff like that. But just to get it to fire up and run, I'm gonna throw 300 RPMs across the board. So now it'll shoot for 875, which ain't bad. Idle airflow, I say it's about 6 grams. We got a big cam, so it's going to want more airflow, and then also we bumped the RPMs up, so you're going to have to bump this up a good bit. If I had to guess, I'd probably say 16 grams would probably get me in the ballpark, and I'm gonna just blend that in. And for the time being, I'm gonna just make both sides the same. We can go back and do a base running airflow log later and really dial that in for gear and parking neutral, but for now I'm just going to worry about getting it to idle. Alright, so that's done, RPM's done, airflow. Another thing I like to do, this is going to be based on the size of your cam. Like I said, there's a pretty big cam in this truck for a top bottom end. It's like 230, 240 something duration. So down at the 600 range, it really does not want much fuel. It's very inefficient down there. If you got a moderate cam, you might be able to take out, or about half of what I'm taking out right now, but I'm gonna take 40% out at the 400 mark, 20% out at the 800 mark, and 10% out at the 1200 mark. And then I'm gonna just blend it in just to smooth it out so we ain't got this big jagged edge. So smooth out the transition a little bit. So that's going to lean it out a little bit at idle. Should help it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead, key it back on. Going to flash this in. And like I said, If you got like a moderate cam, you might do like 20, 10, and 5, not pull out as much. If you got a like small cam, like tow cam or stage 1, you probably can fire it up off the stock tuner and it'll probably run. But in my instance, like I said, I got pretty huge cam for just a stock bottom end motor. Ain't a big stroker or nothing. So it does not want that much fuel down at idle. Alright, so we got that flashed in. Now this time, I'm going to go ahead and do a log. So we're going to connect to the truck. Alright, the main thing I want to log right now is, I don't see it in here. I'm gonna get this on. Alright, so the main thing we're gonna look at is the long-term auto trim, park neutral, or whatever. That's what I'm gonna be running right now. AC off. I don't have AC on this truck, but yeah, if you're doing this, turn the AC off for the first one, and then the short-term auto trim adapt. And then what I got here is just the short-term auto trim plus long-term auto trim, park neutral log with let me see if I show you real quick. And I got it set up the same way as this, where you got your coolant across the top. So that way, once we get logging, we can just copy and paste it right over. So we're connected to the truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna fire up. She should at least fire up and run now. Alright, so you see there, she fired right up and started actually idling on her own pretty good, so I was pretty close. And she's already got a little bit of heat in her because I drove her earlier today and she ain't cooled all the way down. But you're going to start logging and you're going to look at that short-term auto trim and long-term auto trim table. So you're just going to sit here and wait. And alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and disconnect here. You see, these are the numbers I'm gonna go with, and you want to copy with access, sorry, and just go in here in your tune file, hit paste, add. Oh, hold on. So I'm gonna go ahead and save what we had there because it worked good, and that way I can tell the difference in my changes. Alright, so you see here, now I'm just gonna blend this in that way. And then what I like to do for this one, paste, and I just like to drop it by about 10% and blend it in. Okay, now I'm gonna copy them, make them the same. All right, we'll work on the VE table a little bit. So we're going to go to the long-term, short-term fuel trims, and well, it's only pulling about 6.5%. I'm actually, so let's go. So I'm gonna pull just 3% between 800 and 1200 because it's sitting there idling around 900, so it'll be in between those. But yeah, I pulled 3%. It asked for 5, and let's go ahead, make sure we're disconnected there. Good here. Flash this in. Alright, so she's flashed in. Let's go on ahead and connect to the truck. I'm gonna wait a second before I start the log, just I don't want that initial fire up airflow to skew it on the cellus end since it's already warm. Alright, so it still wants me to pull a little bit of fuel, but as you see there, she fires right up. She goes straight to idle. The idle trims are good and stuff now, so that'll get you fired up and running after you do a cam swap or something like that, and she isn't wanting to stay running. That's pretty well gonna be it for this video. If you guys could just like, subscribe to the channel, it'd be really helping me out. And in the next one, we'll probably get into maybe doing some fuel logging, and then after that, we might get into a little bit of spark. So stay tuned. I'll try to get some more tuning videos out to you about different ways to adjust this stuff, and help you guys get y'all's projects fired up and on the road. So I see y'all guys later, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.